it done now. So I'll leave you in the capable hands of our casters here, Demo and Ollie.
Thank you very much, Riley. We are ready to kick off once again. Power has been restored. NiP back in business. Thank you for bearing with us during that short break. Trust that everyone spent it wisely, hydrating themselves. We're all ready to kickstart into map number 2 in what is going to be our last best of 3 today. Team 1 versus NiP. Team 1 already lead by 1 map. They won Villa. And here we are on Coastline to see if it is going to be another 2-map affair.
Certainly could be. Team 1, I think with how they were playing, Ollie, they were just running around doing their own thing, weren't they? Alama was on his form, was on his game, but mind that this is NiP's map choice. This is Coastline at the end of the day. I think back to the first week, NiP, this was the first map that he played this stage. As things, I mean, I suppose the unravel of NiP kind of began on Coastline, where they lost 8-7 to Liquid in that opening matchup, and they have had their fair share of wins on it as well. Keep that in mind. They beat Fury here. Remember, Fury, a very strong Coastline team. Well, maybe they didn't show up today, of course, against FaZe, but certainly a team that is one that you don't really want to mess with on Coastline, but NiP were still able to win that matchup against them.
Well, we'll see if NiP can prove themselves here against Team 1. Strange that we've seen the same 2 maps played today. It's difficult to know if we're coming or going, especially given the order that we played them in. This is, of course, the map that we started off the evening on.
Yep.
Pino thinking about a C4, laid prone, could get away with this one. Sends it out, sends it flying, detonates. Lagonis misses it midair and gets chunked down to 1 HP.
Well, I think that's a good trade-off, though. That's quite worth. Levy will find Pino. Muzi takes so much damage. Doesn't really do a lot to any of the Team 1 members outside of Blue Bar window. That's good information. That's 2 players that they've spotted on the site now. Muzi, does he really want to be taking these long angles, considering his HP as if he will? And, oh, cannot control the MX4 Storm. And that's usually a weapon, Ollie, that we kind of highlight as having very little recoil. Lagonis finally will get finished off by Psycho. That was just an accident waiting to happen there, Ollie, wasn't it, Lagonis? See now if he can push through this and if he can still feed any information. Of course, the drones are still up, Ollie, still in abundance to try and assist Team 1.
Yeah, they've got plenty of drones available. They've got time on their side as well. The diffuser shouldn't be that difficult to recover. Still there. Need to make some significant progress here. NiP have been chipped down. Muzi not sitting at full. Nade goes out there onto Cool Vibe. Kind of telegraphs the position and the intent here from Team 1. As a full rotation is going to happen. Looks as though we could be stacking up quite heavily for an aquarium-sided take. At least that's where the players moving would indicate at this moment in time. Neskin going to be pushing through into luggage. Levy sees some success onto Muzi. Neskin did get tagged up from the back, but got caught out on the trade. Impressive stuff to be able to take Kamikaze down there, and it levels things out at 2 versus 2. Now the push in through aquarium is going to happen. Levy and KDS going to try and make it so. 2 of the main gunners really in the Iana and the Ash. This is who you want in this kind of firefight. No plant denial available here from NiP, but Psycho catches Levy and Julio swings for KDS. Killer piece there for the remaining 2 players on NiP.
Yeah, got off the diffuser. Maybe the call came in. We have to push for the kills, and they tried to go for it, but NiP were ready. NiP were up for the kind of aggression that we would maybe not expect from this current NiP side, but they definitely brought the heat in that Coastline. Swinging really in positions that I don't think Team 1 were expecting. I look at that kill into 90 corridor. You know, was Neskin really expecting to see somebody swing that? Probably not, but you know, that trade was massive. If that was a 2v3 in that situation, would have been a completely different story for NiP, but thankfully for them, it has paid off. And I mean, a bit of a risk. If you looked at the lineup from NiP in that round, didn't really have anything to deny a plant going down. All they had was bodies, I suppose.
Well, let's see if NiP are able to continue that. As you mentioned, no denial. It's not easy to rely on the kills every time. They're not really bringing that much denial this time either. They've only got the Goyo with the C4. And even that isn't a great deal. Now, maybe they're not expecting too much of a plant-based game as Siege to be going down here. But still, it's something that's worth taking note of. Team 1, on the other hand, sticking with what almost worked in the previous. Alamau on the Nook brings a couple more nades. Nades are abundant for Team 1 at the moment. Something that they're looking to really take advantage of. Yeah, strange old setup from NiP. Really leaning quite heavily into that denial, into that soak kind of meta. The nades, they combat that quite well.
They do indeed. Nades, of course, from Team 1. 3 sets. Alamau enjoying his time in the Nook. Not yet, but who knows, can maybe change it this time around. And this was a hold that we've seen from NiP before, Ollie. We've seen this kind of strategy where they would open up the 2 soft walls and have a castle barricade in the middle of it, and it gives them a lot of options to swing. They can swing left, they can swing right, and they're really playing into the 50-50s at that stage. So I do like this setup from NiP, a very strong penthouse and theater hold. Worked very well against Liquid, if memory serves me right. We'll see if it can also stump Team 1 in terms of how they want to try and play this round out. They have peppered that wall with a lot of different openings from the Habana pellets, and now they've dropped in towards bathroom. Team 1 might be trying to walk in and go for a quick hunt, but they can't really do that if Muzi is in that position. Never mind, they've rushed deep. Do they have the denial? They should have a C4. Pino will toss one out, and that will connect. It has to. Yes, it will. Lagonis goes down. Team 1 tried to pull a fast one, but Ollie, the only issue with what's happened now is that castle barricade's gone.
Castle barricade has been removed. Of course, gives opportunity to Pino to try and peek as well. 4 versus 3, as a lot of gunfire is going down. Team 1 still need to fight their way back to the diffuser. It's cold on the ground at the moment, and it's not in the easiest position to get to. Levy going to be able to take down Kamikaze as the flank is on here, and Julio is paying all of his attention to those white stairs. Pino, on the other hand, needs to try and keep himself alive. Takes down Alamau as he crosses, desperately trying to recover said diffuser. This could be enough here for NiP, but they've got to desperately try and hold on. KDS eventually shuts Pino down. Julio still watching for this flank. He's been so patient. He needs to be deserved of the kill. He flies over the top rope and shut down by Levy. You watch that angle for the entirety of the round, it feels like, and even then, it wasn't enough. It resulted in a down, but that's all it will ever be.
I have to commend Team 1. I don't know if it was intentional in terms of the play they made in the kind of opening minute where they rushed in for a quick plant, and that did force the castle barricade to go down. I don't know if that was the intention from Team 1, is to remove that castle barricade. We see as soon as that castle barricade goes down, NiP struggle to find a nice position to really play from. We've seen the Goyo, couldn't really get anything going, but I have to commend Levy. The flank that he hit going through lobby up the white stairs was brilliant. Finds 1 kill. It then means that Julio has to look at Levy. He cannot support his teammate in that scenario. And then you're basically creating a 1v1, and then on the other side of things, you're creating a 3v1. It's great work, has to be said, from Team 1 in that element to create so many issues for NiP in their setup. But again, I don't know if it was intentional to remove that castle barricade. I do not know.
Well, let's see. 1 round apiece. Nothing clear at this moment in time, aside from the fact that we have likely got a game on our hands, and therefore a series. These two battling it back and forth. Nothing between them at the minute. It's kind of how we expected it to go. Pending both teams showing up, which I think they have done. We've not seen a distinct lack from either side thus far. NiP willing to show that aggression here and demonstrated in the lineup again. They've doubled down on the C4s this time, but still not choosing to bring the smoke. Not choosing to really start to try and deny that area and stuff, which it maybe is something that they need to start thinking about, because Team 1 do look a little bit of plant focused. I know that Penthouse and Theatre is one of the sites that you can get a plant down on, but still, it is a focus that they have got. And maybe the C4s aren't always going to be enough to carry them through.
NiP. Now, and we have seen this site, Ollie, really develop. It's all about lobby control these days for teams. They want to try and hold lobby because they open up that entire triple wall of pantry. With the changes, of course, coming in from Coastline this season, is that you can no longer just simply plant. That's a great shot from Neskin. You can no longer plant on the door that he has just ran in from. Nate's going everywhere also. The NiP have actually came out the worst end of those trades. 2 players gone, Kamikaze and Pino. However, we do see a trade-off. Muzi, get 1 back. Lagonex, there's a plant going down right on the pantry. Can anyone stop it? No, they cannot. Ollie, what has happened? Muzi, he had 1 job.
It's probably the first time we've ever seen a plank go down on Kitchen as well this stage. It's not really been a very common occurrence. Team oNe desperately trying to keep hold of it in the post. It's 1 versus 2. Julio, his location known. He's actually just going to hightail it straight for the diffuser here and try and get on it. He might actually be able to stick this. Lagonis, Levy, where are you? I don't want to see Julio's POV. I want to know where these attackers are. What is going on? Finally, he gets pushed, but it was close, Demo.
Oh my. Both of them not in a great position only to hold that diffuser, and both of them just running rampage straight at him. I suppose the idea was, well, he can't kill us both in that space of time, and oh, they got their man just in time. I would have highly of doubt to see the diffuser kind of be pulled off at that stage. I think it was 0.7 seconds left, so very, very close, but NiP, you have to question, how is a diffuser being allowed to get planted in that position? Because that really shouldn't happen. I have a couple of ideas how they actually managed to get in that position, only because it seemed as if the diffuser started being planted out of nowhere. And we seen a nade kill come in. Whenever it was 4v3 to Team 1, a nade kill happened. And that was the only man inside a kitchen. Remember, Neskin pulled off a great shot onto the man in delivery. Then they managed to get a nade kill on the guy in kitchen. The other 3 were off-site. That's usually what we find for the kitchen service holds, is there's 2 guys sitting in the bomb site, and the other 3 are out and about around the map. If you kill those 2 anchors, it's free real estate, and I think that was shown very professionally from Team oNe. They adapted, they realized the position they were in, and they took everything that they could.
Again, an opportunistic team. It's something that we've categorized Team oNe as a couple of times now. Seen an opportunity and they've been able to take it. There was a bulletproof camera on the wall that was really feeding Julio that information as well, and he must have just thought he had enough time to get it down because it would have been difficult to take the gunfight there. A close round nonetheless. Coastline going the way we expect at the moment. Slightly skewed toward the attackers, especially with the game that Team oNe are bringing. Very plant focused. Only now we're starting to see a smoke be brought. Kamikaze in round number 4 recognizing that and saying, you know what? Might be time for the smoke. Keep your C4s. We'll still bring 2, but we need a little bit more plant denial here.
NiP have lost that lead that they gained after the first round, and oNe are starting to pull it back. However, we do head up, of course, to the hookah. Brandon, where NiP had good standing. We're going to try and target specific positions that they maybe missed last time. I remember that shield was left up the entirety of the last round, and you have to commend Team oNe. They've seen that as an issue, and they have dealt with that very swiftly. Oh, Alamau. A great swing. Muzi, an even better swing. Alamau, he's seen his face lit up as he got killed. He wasn't ready for that one. Levy, though, still has a man advantage back in Team oNe's favor. Ollie, that seems to be the 3rd round in a row where Team oNe have consistently won the opening trade battle.
Team oNe doing a really good job of that statistic at the moment, and it's standing them in great stead. On the attack, you need to be aggressing, you need to be deciding where that push is going to happen and then fully committing to it. And that's what Team oNe are doing at the moment. It's one of the reasons why they are consistently able to not only get the opener, but get the one afterwards as well. ADS, next player to fall immediately. We do have somebody challenging on to Kamikaze, and they look chunking down somewhat. Julio as well, seeing a little bit of pressure and a little bit of fire here. Neskin, what a shot! You don't often get to see that, but what a flick through the soft wall. Takes Muzi's head off, picks up his 2nd on the round onto Julio. Kamikaze, cool vibe stairs, last remaining player. 3 toxic babes, but for what? He's unlikely going to get to use them, even with a minute left. He too falls to the might of Neskin, who picks up 3 on the round.
Brilliant work. Neskin has been hitting some lovely shots. Like just right place, right time for Team oNe right now, and it's stormed away after losing that opening bomb site. They have adapted very swiftly to how NiP have been setting up, and now 3-1 to Team oNe. I do fear for NiP because at this stage they're already a map down. They're 3-1 down now on their own map pick. I hope NiP just don't think, oh well, you know what? Let's just roll over. I hope we don't see that, because it is definitely feasible. Keep in mind, both these sides have got what they wanted out of this competition, which is the spot in the major. Is that all NiP wanted from it? Is that it? Are they just going to go back to same old, same old?
It's possible. It's something worth bearing in mind. Especially with the scoreline the way that it is currently. Even at this point, you think it's quite a big mountain to climb, right? Because we know how Team 1 are going to act on the defense. Team 1 have gotten to this point. Alamau's 1-4, by the way. Like, this isn't Team Alamau, and it never has been. He just is the player that tends to gather the most attention. But you look at Neskin, 6-2. Levy, 7-1. Levy probably one of the best entries, one of the best Ash players that we've got inside of the league. Really consistent on that start line. KDS as well, going evens at the moment, not setting the world on fire, but still. That's where the contribution's coming from inside of this game, and it's only going to get more dangerous when players like Alamau start to get on that level as well. NiP, they need to come up with some answers, and they need to do it fairly quickly. We're seeing the kitchen again. I'm pretty sure that I can hand on heart say we've seen this site planted onto once, and it was only a couple of rounds ago.
Yeah.
Not something that we're seeing all too much. For anyone unfamiliar, the changes of Coastline included a change that you can no longer plant in pool entrance. You've got to plant a little bit deeper. Pretty much where Kamikaze was there, taking Levy out of action.
That one. In the reaction on Levy's face, he's like, oh, have I died to that? So, for the first time, it seems as if NiP actually on a good position to start the round opening, and Team 1. What they're going to do now, they've lost Levy, who is currently their top performer, 7 kills to his name. NiP still fishing for their top performer. All of them are on the board, but nothing more than max of 3 kills for the players of NiP. If someone can change that right now, Kamikaze inside a kitchen will be bombarded with a set of nades, and oh, takes a bit of shrapnel. Almost found a headshot also on the KDS, but still alive, and oh, not for long though for Laguna. So he tried to go for the same old jumping, and Team 1 have tried to storm in towards kitchen. They found Psycho, but do they know about Kamikaze? No, they do not. He'll pick up a double kill, almost finds the third onto Neskin. Alamau now left in the clutch position, a 1 versus 3 for himself. He is inside a Sunrise, far away from his team there, Ollie. 1v3 does not have the diffuser and has no idea the position of NiP.
Well, he finds one onto Kamikaze. I'm sure if he knows the other player is inside of Garden. Julio just keeping himself alive there for long enough. He could have probably done away with actually losing Kamikaze there if he'd have played a little bit more aggro, but just wanted to guarantee that kill. NiP desperately trying to guarantee a round here and try and bring things level to 3 apiece. Team 1 still in the lead, but NiP an opportunity to level things up now. A lot scrappier. Team 1 not really dealing well with losing that opening kill. It was lost very early as well, and that's the danger of Coastline as a map, is that you can very regularly lose opening kills in the really early stages of the round, just because it can be a bit spawn peaky. It can be a little bit aggressive like that. Seeing a couple of changes brought through here as the Nook is selected by Alamau. Obviously wants the sneaky sneak, and he wants the nades once again.
Indeed. I mean, he has, again, a very wide operator pool, doesn't he? Didn't he play the most different operators at Mexico? I think that was a statistic.
Yeah,
that was,
I think it was, yeah.
Definitely his. So, you know, very flexible player, can play anything you need him to. 3-2 is how we stand. I mean, that last round, for me, it just felt as if they lost the opening engagement and they tried something extremely bold and very boisterous, and it just didn't work. Stuff like that doesn't work against NiP. If NiP are in a commanding position, which they were for the entirety of that round, it's not going to work.
And again, it shows NiP's ability to just turn it on. Muzi maybe going for a little bit of a... It's not quite a run out, it's more of a crouch out at this point. We can see there is going to be nobody there, nobody home. Muzi. Nice attempt, but alas, not successful. Cameras getting thrown outside now just to provide a little bit more info to peek from. Team 1 looks to get themselves onto the roof and start exploiting some of the angles that are available to them. Attacking into double bar. Couple of nice cameras out there as Muzi's flicking through and just giving us a bit of a showcase. Nice Hall of Fame cam. A lot of presence upstairs for NiP as well, so Team 1 going to have to go in for that full clear. So far, the kind of taking the sweet time about things, Demo. They've got open into Sauna. But realistically, that's all they've got at the minute.
Yeah, not rushing at all, are they? Just nice and slow as best as they can. How do they go about killing their own presence that NiP have? There's a nade. Nades have been flying everywhere against NiP. See the sledge even inside a bedroom. And hunt guys inside a kitchen using the vertical angles. Team oNe, maybe we're setting up just to try and walk it again, but it hasn't worked for them. Kamikaze. He is the watcher. He is the warden off this sunrise bar. Tosses out a smoke for good measure. Once again, Team oNe, very bold, very boisterous. Is trying to get away with bloody murder. It seems to be KDS has found 2 kills, though. That has certainly changed the direction of how this round was going. All it looks as if Team oNe, they are in firm control of the round, and they will have even more controls. Alamau has swung in. Muzi should be here for the refry. Cannot find the angle, though. Onto the Nook. He's been able to hide himself away behind that wall. Levy will hold Dino as he tries to rotate in towards Office, and Alamau even dumpsters Muzi. What a round. Where did that come from, Ollie?
Well, it all came off the back of KDS and picking up 2 very important kills in onto the site. Team oNe in a great position to collapse then when they needed to. Some good positioning, particularly from Alamau there, getting himself onto that key location underneath the default camera outside of blue. There is a lot that you can do to command the area, especially when you've got a man count advantage from that position. 4-2 half for Team oNe. Can they continue this kind of a scoreline? If so, they could be locking themselves into our finals tomorrow, locking themselves in for a date with FaZe Clan. They are the team that are already confirmed for the grand finals of the Copa Elite 6 tomorrow, and this game is to find out who's going to be joining them. So far, Team oNe have to be the favourites. They won map 1 and they are ahead here inside of map 2. NiP, they need to dig deep now. The sides have switched. They're on the attack. They need to show us what they've got.
Keep in mind, last time FaZe and Team oNe played each other, Ollie, it does seem like quite a while ago in the regular season. It was an 8-7, and then, obviously, if we look at how they faced off against each other in the Copa Elite 6, it was Team oNe. So, both sides this season winning against one another, and it would be nice to see the decider in that engagement to see who really is the best. NiP, can they battle back? They now switch onto their attacking side of Coastline, which, again, if we reminisce to them against Liquid, they managed to win 4 attacks on their side. And then also, if we look at the Furia game also, they managed to win 3 attacks. So attacks, not too bad for NiP as it goes, but that was in the early weeks of NiP before that kind of stature and the, I would say, the confidence just kind of faded away.
See where the confidence is at inside of this round. Psycho rocking the Zephyr LMG. Muzi on the Finker. Blue, sorry, not Blue Bar. Billiards, Hooker and Billiards is going to be the site chosen. Psycho. You could watch that angle all day long and really cut through, especially with the LMG. He's going to be all the way out on Ruins looking through double window. Pino just trying to gather a little bit of information. There's quite a lot to wade through here. And you would maybe like the Zephyr playing a little bit more forward in order to assist that.
I like the Valk. Valk's a great choice now for this bomb site, Ollie, especially whenever... There's no way that NiP are going to force an IQ. So I think the Valkyrie cameras... Wait till you see, I think that might have a big part to say in this round.
Quite possibly. Psycho's at least pushing up now in an attempt to assist to deal with everything that's been set up here by Team oNe. It's certainly looking a little bit soaky. You've got the ADSs, you've got the magnets. You have no longer got your beloved Valkyrie sent to the cameras. ADS is going to fall. Interestingly, flicking through the POVs and only now getting himself onto the cameras. So maybe not so much information out there for them, but at least enough to stick onto one camera for a good deal of time. Vertical control now being pressured. This is an NiP special. Kamikaze, he's going to take down Neskin. Lagonis battles back, picks up his second on the round onto Pino, immediately shutting down the push in through Hookah. Now there's a lot of concern and a lot of attention being paid toward Luggage as players continue to fall. Lagonis, how does he get away with this? Pulls out the C4, picks up the quad kill. Can he snag himself the ace? Julio, he's not giving him that opportunity. He's got himself onto the roof. He's saying, you know what, I do not want to give the ace away to Lagonis. He has almost single-handedly won the round from inside of Hookah. Instead, Julio going to hold the angle from the roof. The diffuser cold on the ground in the middle of the doorway into Aquarium. Julio, not a lot really to go on here. Air jab's off the door. Lagonis knows this, and he's after a hero. He needs someone to burn that air jab for him so he can run out and find that final kill. Instead, playing things safe, looks to pre-fire. Can he move on through? The left-hand side of the doorway is the call. Needs to land the shots. He's going to get full white flashed. What's he going to be able to do? Both players full white flashed as Alamau pops up behind the deployable. Lagonis, is he going to send himself out there? He's got the SMG in hand. Can he land the shots? No, he went for it. It was a great attempt. Alamau picks up the pieces. You cannot fault Lagonis for that at all. 4 spectacular kills on the round.
Said that maybe the Valkyrie cameras would have a big part to play in that round, Ollie, but the leading role goes to Lagonis. Unbelievable. You can't teach that. Phenomenal work to really pull his team back in. I loved what NiP tried to do. Ollie, did you see that they went below and they used the Sophia impacts to push him out behind the hookah bar right into a line of sight of the guy in Aquarium? I thought that was great from NiP, but Lagonis, my word. Great play from him. And that has shot Team 1 right into the front fold now. 2 rounds away from locking Coastline up, and NiP deflated on all accords. That was a very good chance for them to get themselves back into the game, but letting one individual player do that to you, that has to stink.
It really does, and the momentum's got to be with Team 1 after that one. You could see they're very pleased with themselves, particularly Lagonis. Massive shift that he's put in there. It's always nice to see a player pop off in that sort of fashion. Everyone really pull them out here for Team 1. Not a lot in between the top and the bottom kill lead. 5 for KDS and Lagonis, 8 for Levy, and a 6 and a 7 in between. So everybody keeping competitive with one another. An equal contribution across the board. And Demo, as you say, a 5-2 scoreline. A mountain for NiP to now try and climb. 2 rounds is all that stands in between Team 1 and locking themselves in for tomorrow. Valkyrie camera just gets spotted out there on the drone, pinged with the Z-ping system. Should be dealt with relatively easily. Shows an intent. And even then, you can't guarantee that you're going to be able to get up onto the rappel safely. There could be somebody looking to try and take advantage of that, and Pino knows this. He's going to open up the hatch into kitchen, do a little bit of drone work, make sure that his teammates can get themselves up onto that rappel safely.
Thought process for Team 1 going into this defense seems to be, again, fairly expected of what we've kind of seen the meta shift to. Of course, opening up a lot of that kitchen wall and obviously the pantry also. Heavy in towards the top floor. An area that Team 1 had no interest in attacking, actually, Ollie, wasn't it? They were more direct, very minimalistic in terms of what they were going for. NiP completely the opposite. They're not afraid to challenge these Team 1 players. They've opened up in towards VIP. Nobody's in there, though, from Team 1. Most of them have scattered towards the corridors and have actually scattered downstairs. So, Team 1, very similar to what we've seen from Villa. The same mentality was, okay, let's set up a lot of utility, but don't give the kills away to NiP. Let's just burn up the utility. And they've done that. You know, they've burned up Habana pellets, a couple of flashes in there also. But NiP still have plenty of utility. They haven't used nades. They can get their sledge in. Sledge is alive. Can start redecorating the top floor, of course. Use those vertical angles. Still half the round to go. More than enough time. And I'm seeing no C4s from Team 1. I wonder if those are pre-placed, because I don't think they were ever used. Have to be pre-placed. Surely they have to be pre-placed.
And sorry, Team 1 do like a good pre-place. Possible that that's what they're trying to work with, especially in conjunction with the cameras. KDS is on a lot of the defaults and flicking through some of the cameras, so he could be looking to try and call out here. What a shot from Alamau. I want to see that from the other side. How has he been able to take out Julio there?
That was a great rotation. A little bait from Levy, and Alamau gets just an easy tap. Sees the guy upside down on the rappel. Psycho also falls. Alamau is starting to ramp things up in round number 8. Looking to push his team into match point. Pino, and that jiggle peek from Levy doing wonders for him. Finds out some information, doesn't give himself away. You can see Team 1, the pushes that they're going for, it's well-timed. Alamau maybe trying to top what the Gonuses did. He got his third, but maybe that was a little bit too much. Pino will successfully kill him, but I mean, Ollie, look at the time. Look where Diffuser is. He's done so much, Alamau. He single-handedly killed off this round for NiP. Muzi can try his best. 5 seconds ago. No, there's still one more player has to go, but he runs out of ammo with the Finka. Lagones finds Pino, and Team 1, match point, series point. What a performance from Alamau. My, oh my.
Impressive couple of kills there. I think if he'd have got that kill onto Pino through the hatch, I probably would have lost my mind. It would have been the best kill that we have ever seen. But it wasn't meant to be. You'll just have to settle for 3, which is still very impressive indeed. Match series point, as you say, Demo, for Team 1 here. 6 rounds to 2 against NiP on Coastline, and it's looking like we may not get that third mapper after all. A lot for NiP to do here. A lot to show us that they haven't shown us already. Not a lot of indication that they've got it in the tank to win this one. Maybe, just maybe, that major qualification was enough for them this weekend. That was their main focus. And they're happy to bow out here and let Team 1 battle with FaZe tomorrow in our grand finals.
(6-2). 6-2. I mean, Ollie, you mentioned that it was a bit of a mountain for NiP that they had to climb. I mean, this is Everest? Is it not?
Maybe not Everest, maybe like a little K2 or something like that, yeah.
Kilimanjaro, maybe? This is difficult. Really difficult for NiP, and, you know, NiP showed great promise in Villa. Even though they lost Villa, I thought they played some great Siege, and coming on the Coastline, this was their map pick, Ollie. It was their map pick. And they just haven't shown up. Haven't really had a standout. I mean, 4 of them are only in 4 kills. We've highlighted Lagones, we've highlighted Alamau for Team 1. Neskin has been hitting some great shots. Lavinder's rotation has been phenomenal. All of Team 1 have just stepped up over NiP in this game.
And that's the difference, isn't it? It's the team contribution from Team 1 versus the sort of individual contribution from NiP. Everyone performing fairly equally on both sides, all things considered. But there's just that edge at the minute for Team 1, and it's an edge that they're not looking to give up anytime soon. Bit of info being gathered there from Pino. He knows roughly where Levy's going to be for the next few seconds. Attacking into double bar. NiP going to go for this top floor take. It looks to be moving quite quickly here, Demo, especially given the context of how slowly some of these rounds have taken to mature through the course of this game. But everyone really honing their attentions in onto the top of White Stairs.
That whole link, replace. He said they're a fan of them, and once again, NiP gonna have to worry about those pre-plays. Obviously, the Valkyrie camera is coming in big, Ollie. You have to always consider whenever Valkyrie's up that you could get exploded from below. Good jam replacement, just delays the Hibana, but Muzi, a nice swing, eliminates Neskin. Pino finds Levy. There's the pre-play C4. Alamau finds Psycho, but still trades go in favor of NiP. Down goes Alamau. Looks as if NiP might actually take their first attack round in this series. Or not in this series, in this map. You know, almost gets shot from below. KDS and Lagones. And they clutched up the double SES operators. Kamikaze, is he aware of the offsite position that Lagones is in? Swings on the Sonador and will find Kamikaze. Ollie, is this all of a sudden clutchable now from Team 1?
Certainly is. All they need is a player and a chance, and they've got 2. Finkerstim is just going to give Muzi and Julio a little bit of a boost there. Pino looking to move on in as well. Team 1, not in a terrible position at the moment. The diffuser's going to be in the hands of Pino. Toxic Babe canister flies on out. It's going to buy Lagones a bit of time, but that is really all it is going to buy. He's got a player pushing him in through Kitchen, who he is entirely unaware of. Muzi there, ready to shut him down. KDS gets caught looking up at the stars. NiP, they finally drag one back here. It's when they needed to the most. They had no more options for letting rounds slip. Can they do it again and again and again?
Well, NiP now make it a little bit more interesting, and this is the same deficit they were on, of course, before oLe and Villa, whenever we see NiP start to rally, and I wonder if they can do it again. We'll be upstairs to that top floor. This was the Lagonis round. This is where it would start off really well for NiP. And, I mean, I think if you look at how really Team One responded, it was just sheer individual brilliance, which isn't necessarily something that you can really counter for, but it's not necessarily something that Team One can rely on. Is that happening every round? You know, we talk about consistency. It's very difficult to be consistent in this game, as we know, oLe. Every player has had their fair share of amazing games where we think, oh my word, look at them, you know, they're the Pele of Siege. And then we look at them and all of a sudden they're nobodies. They're ghosts.
I'm disappointed that you didn't give me an alternate than like nobody else.
Phil Jones.
Phil Jones. I knew it was going to
be.
be.
There you go. I don't know if that was, you know, it's going to scare you off. And but, yeah,
I went to
there you
school
go,
with
Phil
him.
Jones.
He was in the year above me at my school.
Surely not.
Fun fact, yeah, absolutely.
Seriously?
Yeah, on God.
Wow. My oh my. That's crazy. I didn't know that. That's cool.
See, little United fan out there once again. I agree. I think it's one of those circumstances where you've got to ask the question: can NiP do this again? And of course they can. They're very capable. Is it likely? I'm not too sure at this point. Psycho certainly getting a lot of value out of his shock drone. The ability to jump those drones has just been massive. Look what he's able to achieve here. 3 mute jammers, an ADS. Damage has been done there, and it's actually already allowing the wall to be open, which is going to put further pressure on Vase. But I think Lagonis is sat inside of Billiards, actually shooting them off.
As if they've got that covered. I don't know if that was Billiards or maybe it was Levy playing actually maybe below oLe, because I know that they have some vertical angles being opened up that Levy can try and hold down perhaps, so I'm not entirely sure where they came from, but I'm going to try again with the Havana pelts. See where someone's going to go to try and get rid of them. As if they're in position, and there we go, Lagonis will quickly and swiftly move in. And we'll destroy them once again. So minute 30, no kills on the board for either side, which is probably better, you would say, for Team 1. Never mind, Caster's Curses. Muzi will open things up. A Levy off the board. Bit of a quiet game, oLe, since we kind of hyped them up in the attacking rounds. I don't know if he's got a kill in the defense. It has been quite a while since I've seen his name actually flash up on the scoreboard. Alamau. A sliver of HP, also has to be careful. Even a shrapnel damage from a grenade is enough to finish him off. This is not a good position, and there goes Kamikaze. He has shown no fear at all during this week, and he's right on the money with that swing. Psycho will eliminate Neskin now. 2 versus 4. Lagonis on the window. If he can eliminate the man on the rappel. Psycho moves in. Uses that drone, but has not spotted out. Never mind, has spotted out Lagonis, and he is in quite the predicament. Will get spotted out, and this should be an easy pickup. Yes, it will be for Psycho. NiP look as if they're ready to make this match. Have a longer one. KDS eliminates Julio. 30 seconds. Diffuser still not picked up, though, from NiP. A C4 will be prepped, but very wisely of NiP move into the other bomb site, a position that KDS cannot get to. A C4 plus, but not even close to getting a kill on this crossfire. Being held. Nice kill though, and oh my word, another one comes out of nowhere. KDS has picked up 2 massive kills. He sees the sledge wounded, and he finds it. Oh my word, the impossible clutch for KDS. He has to find a diffuser, but I'm sure he will find it in due course. What do you say about that?
I mean, I'm not sure quite how he's done it. I'm just glad that we got to see it from KDS's point of view, because we can go through. We will have the replays on that. KDS, 4 kills on the round. The unwinnable clutch, and he's been able to pull it off. Sloppy, sloppy stuff from NiP. 1 round was all it would take there. Team 1 had a cracking first half here on Coastline. They put themselves in a really good position. NiP, they started to fire up. They started to get their act together, but it just